Hi, and welcome to this session on the Kalicube Summit 2026 with Brian Scudamore. Welcome, Brian. I'm really happy to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. You know, my new biggest sort of fan in life is the work that you've been doing to help us on the AEO, GEO side. And so happy to chat more about that.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, I'm incredibly impressed by the success you've got. 1-800-GOT-JUNK. What I found surprising for the name was the first time I saw it, I thought that's a bit strange, but now I can't forget it.
Right?
That's
exactly.
super smart. And it's hard to know what's going to stick. How did you know that was going to stick?
Well, I knew it's a North American brand, clearly, for Canada, where we started, the United States, Australia, and toll-free 800 numbers used to be a big thing. Used to be that when you'd call somewhere else in a city, outside of your city, it would cost a fee. And so instead of paying long distance, you'd let the company pay for it with a toll-free 1-800 number. And we were inspired by companies like 1-800-Flowers. It was a brand, you couldn't forget it, like you said, and that's exactly what we did. Is we said, how do we bring that to junk removal? And I got lucky and got the phone number 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Right. Okay. So got some of it luck, which is delightful. But then you've got the brand name, and what you're talking about is back in the day when some people are watching this don't even know that was a thing.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. My kids don't understand it. They're like, what do you mean it's a phone number? Yeah.
Oh, and so you've got this kind of very old school name, if I may, that corresponds to a world that is now more or less gone. How are you adapting to the AI era?
Well, we're lucky in that we have such a brand platform. We're almost $1 billion in revenue. And so we've been around for 37 years and people have gotten to know us. That has translated into a reputation online and offline. And it's built, we've built a brand. So my kids or that newer generation up and coming might think the company name is 1-800-GOT-JUNK and don't understand the meaning, but as long as they know the name. So whether they're Googling or whether they're searching through AI, they're still finding us. And we're a known entity that, as you said, you can't forget.
Right. But then you mentioned a couple of things there. Is you have a super online reputation, but you also have a super offline reputation. Is there a how can I say it, an imbalance between the two, i.e. your offline reputation is even stronger than the online one? And if so, what do you do about it?
Yeah, so like anything, it's dynamic and things change. There's times when we've been absolute rock stars in our customer experience, and then there's some events that happen sometimes where you grow quickly and you weaken a little bit. And so we're constantly working at it. But overall, we consider ourselves a globally admired brand for what we're building, how we're building it, and most importantly, the customer experience. But what is interesting is we live in a world today where everyone has an online and an offline reputation, and they both matter. An online reputation, I think you can manipulate a little bit in the early days if you want. You can create a website as a company, you can look bigger than you are, you can put fake testimonials, you can gamify. But in this world of AI, I don't think that's going to last long because I believe AI will find the truth. AI will know that you're gamifying and you're not being honest. So your reputation out there in the real world, your offline reputation, is what matters the most. If you are so good and you do not give customers a chance to not appreciate your service and not be wowed, that's what translates into the amazing testimonials and the sheer volume of them. We have almost 1 million online testimonials. We've got a 4.98 on Google. And so we've worked hard for that. But let's not, let's be clear that you can lose that quickly if you stop caring about taking care of your people as your own team, who then go on to take care of the customer. That's our secret formula. When we do those two things in that order, everything else works.
Right. I've got a really terrible thing to share with you, Brian. It's not secret anymore. You just shared.
Exactly.
But I love that. And it's what we're trying to install at Kalicube is I care for the people on my team and my team care for the people that we're helping. And it does make a lot of sense. But then the perspective of saying, okay, how do you get the clients to then come online and present their testimonials, their reviews to demonstrate to both human beings and machines how good you are. What was your strategy for that? Because I think that's key.
Yeah, so it's a human strategy, which has benefited us in an online world. So it really is as simple as take care of your people, your employees. If you do a great job with them, they will be inspired and empowered to take care of the customer. If you do a great job with the customer will be inspired to talk about you and share their opinions on the internet, on social media, with their friends and family. What do we all love to do? We see a great movie or we have a great dinner experience. We go tell everybody about it. We brag about it. We share so that someone else can have that same amazing experience. Well, whenever we do well in the offline world, consistently, that translates into the online world where people talk about us. We're not paying people to give Google reviews. They're wanting to give Google reviews. Sometimes we ask, of course, but they're giving Google reviews because they genuinely feel, wow, these guys were amazing. Look at what they did. They were so happy to help. And that helps grow our business and our reputation.
Right. And what I really like about that is that the human connection was always incredibly important. And you would argue, if I understand you correctly, that it will always be important.
It'll always be important, but the human connection, I'm arguing, is more important. More important than ever before, because AI will find the truth. If you take any person or any company, if they really are a good company, people will talk about it, the internet will find out. If they really are a bad company, the internet will talk about it and find out even faster.
Right. So the question now with OPIDC, which is why we're here, you've won the customer. So you've got through the one stage, offline or online. This is specifically online. And you're onboarding the client. They've decided to work with you. What do you do to make sure that that initial contact, that initial experience is incredibly good? Obviously, this is, would we call it home services?
Yes.
Right. So in the home services world.
Yeah. So let's take our first company, the biggest of the three that I run and own, is 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We start with the little things. When a customer books online, we want to make sure our online booking engine or our call center experience, if that's what they're using, is easy. It's fast, it's easy. It's not like talking to a bank. It's not going through a bunch of different prompts. It's just fast, easy, boom, your junk removal is booked. When we are going to arrive on site, we give a promise time, but we call before that promise time within 30 minutes to say, we're on our way, just want to double check you're still home. Again, we want to make it easy for our truck team members. We want to make it easy for our customers. And when we get there, after we've taken away their junk, we find out if there's anything else we can do to help. We find out, we sweep up, we do anything possible to make sure that that customer leaves with a, these people are amazing type feeling. And so it's taking care of them every step of the way. We do a follow-up call or a follow-up email after the job is done to ensure the customer was happy. If there was a miss of some part on our part, how do we fix it? How do we learn from it? And so we really manage the customer experience from you're a new customer, you're a repeat customer, we're going to deal with you forever, hopefully. How do we make sure that we're in communicado with these people on a regular basis? So they feel connected, they feel heard, and most importantly, they walk away with a great customer experience.
Right. And so that initial onboarding part, you were saying we'll sweep up, we'll look around and see if there's something we can do to help, and we'll do it proactively. Is that going above and beyond?
I don't think it's above and beyond. I think it's become table stakes, but I think it's those little things consistently executed that make a real difference. We have on the back of everyone's hats that they wear in their uniforms, the 1-800-GOT-JUNK hats. On the very back, it says, happy to help. And it reminds the truck team member that that's our spirit. So you might get someone who says, oh, while you're here, I've got 2 strong truck team members. I've got something in my living room that just needs to be moved to the basement. Do you mind giving me a quick hand? Of course. And those things happen all the time because we show up and we tell people we're happy to help.
Right. I mean, you mentioned table stakes. I think it's table stakes for you guys, but for a lot of companies, especially the ones I deal with in the south of France, that's definitely not what happens.
Yeah, I think it's how you find your people, how you train your people, and how you keep them great. And so again, the process we bring to onboarding a customer, We also bring process and systems to how we onboard our people and how we keep them great. It takes hard work. Companies that are great brand ambassadors, that are great marketers, that are great customer service companies, it doesn't just happen by accident. It happens from being strategic and being mindful to preserve that core of whatever is most important in your business.
Right. Okay, super. And the idea of perform, which is the second, I mean, you've covered most of it already, is retaining the customer. So they've done the first job. And what's your technique or your strategy once you've made them incredibly happy with that initial service to keep them with you and keep them recommending you both offline and online?
It's a friendly keep in touch. If you think of, I know people don't necessarily love going to the dentist, but getting those postcards in the mail or an email or text reminder that you still need to come for your 6-month checkup, we try and keep in touch in a friendly, not overdone marketing way, where we try not to bombard them with discounts, but just remind them that we're here whenever they need. It might be spring cleaning time. Okay, we're here. You might be having a move come up, and we can help with the junk removal pre-move, or maybe the junk removal from your new house that you move into. So it's trying to stay in touch, but in a balanced, respectful way that also isn't making people crazy.
Right. So very human yet again. So you've got a family of brands in O2E. 1-800 Got Junk, Shack Shine, Wow, One Day Painting. You run them all in that exact same way?
We do. They're different businesses. I'd say painting is more complicated than junk removal, as an example, or washing someone's windows and putting up the Christmas lights with Shack Shine, also more complicated than junk removal. But the human experience at the core is understand what the customer needs. The customer needs might be very different in from customer to customer across businesses. Someone in 1-800 Got Junk might say, the most important thing to me is make sure you get in and out before noon because the new owners are taking hold of the property. Or make sure you're so careful when you remove all this junk through the basement, the back door, that you don't scratch any of the walls. So we find out from our customers what matters most, and we stay in tune with them, and we do our best to deliver. So do we run all the businesses the same? We run the businesses with the same care and attention to what the customer needs and wants, the follow-up to ensure that we've delivered what we've promised to deliver, and our care for finding and treating the right people right.
Right. And I mean, you've built up a franchise system. How complicated is that? Because my initial thought about franchises is you quickly lose control of all of that, and the quality could well drop as you expand out in the franchise world.
That's a great question. Some of the world's best franchises perform on consistency. So let's think McDonald's, one of the earliest franchise systems in the world, and what Ray Kroc built inspired me to build a franchise operation. It is about being a bit of a one-size-fits-all, consistent time and time again in how you deliver your experience. Not robotic, very human, but people can trust you and rely on it. And so when we've found franchise partners over the years that we brought into our system, we're very, very picky on who we let in the door. And we want to make sure that we have people that care about that customer experience. They're not just driven by making profits, which matters in business, of course, but they're really driven by making a difference with their people and their customers.
Right. And so looking at it as the franchise, how are you going to move the franchises into the AI era? Because is there one centralized communications online, or are you leaving it to each individual franchisee to make the communication, the marketing themselves?
It's a good question. There's a lot that's done locally for franchise owners that they do themselves. There's a lot that's done nationally by us as a head office. And it depends what we need done. Our email marketing, that's controlled by us on a national level. Their local ground game, they do that. What we try and teach people, and we're in a time where this is new to all of us. AI and technology is changing so fast. I mean, I look right now, and tomorrow there's going to be 5 more new versions of Claude that come out. I mean, it's so fast. It's hard to keep up. We rely on experts like you But we also, I think, need to inspire our franchise partners to be open to a new way of doing things, to understand AI themselves, how they use it as a customer. Are they using ChatGPT? Are they using Claude? How are they using it? How are they searching for information, and try and put themselves in the shoes of the customers, but to really understand that no matter what they're looking for as a business leader, if they don't deliver offline, they will never deliver online.
Which is a great point. The next question that I'm getting and I'm thinking about is, you're saying things have changed. So we've got two perspectives. One is the user, how we're searching, how we're researching, how we're buying. And the other is the technology that's allowing us to do that. And the third one is your brand. So the three different perspectives: the user, the technology, and the brand. Can you walk me through your perspective on how the user's behavior online, searching, researching, has changed, how the technology is moving forwards, and how you're changing and adapting?
I think all of it is tying together, and I'll oversimplify this. It's what I tend to do, but everything is tying together to a point where you're never going, I think the layers are going to be blurred.
Yes.
This recent announcement with Apple, who I love, and I love the fact that they're like, our Siri sucks. We're now going to partner with Gemini, with Google, and we're going to have them power our AI-driven backbone of our phone. That's amazing. They want to be the entry point into the ease for the customer to do anything they need to do with their phone. AI can be built by others with their own privacy layer, but they don't have to own it and build it. They can trust someone else. But my point here is that everything converges. How the user has changed. We're getting to a point where we're so ADD as human beings that our attention spans are so short. Everything has to be fast. Technology has to go faster, be easier. Don't make me think. The way we feed prompts into our AIs right now, we can be messy with it, and it can still feed to us a really polished, smart response. So I think human beings have gotten less patient and want faster. Technology is getting faster and getting easier. And I think how it all ties together is it will one day be seamless, where right now everybody's talking about AI and what engine do you use. There's going to be a point where you're not even going to think about it. You're just going to pick up your phone. And that's the brilliance of Apple and what they want. So I don't know exactly where it's going, but I do know that everything we do as human beings, we want faster, we want shortcuts, we want easy. We really don't want to have to think. And technology is doing that job for us.
Which is a great point. There are a couple of really great points there. And the first one is it's all converging. And I agree 100% with that. And I was looking at a thread on a forum the other day saying, I'm optimizing using method A for ChatGPT, method B for Gemini, method C for Perplexity. And just struck me, as you said, that we're all just going to be, it's going to be opaque, i.e. we're going to be using the AI we're using. The AI is all using the same data source, which is the web. And you need to feed the AI to get it on your side by proving that you are the best solution to the problem. So fundamentally, we're trying to do one single thing for all of these different engines to serve, through the engines, serve our users.
Well, AI will get so smart and so useful that we won't have to think about that anymore. It will know that, making this up, but Jason prefers to always start every search with ChatGPT. And then he likes to get Claude to debate it a little bit and say, what have I missed? Push back. And then with real fact checking, he wants to put it into Perplexity. Well, it will know that that's the way Jason operates, and it will know us and how to do what we desire. What's the best way for us, or what's the best way, period. Right now, I think we're just in a period where people are feeling, myself included, very overwhelmed at times. What version of Claude do I use? Do I use the long thinking one? Do I use the fast? How many tokens? What is a token? It's overwhelming, but it will get to a point. It's sort of like, it reminds me of the web when the internet in the mid-90s started to become really popularized, and everyone's got to learn HTML. You have to learn HTML or you're going to fall behind. I didn't learn HTML, right? But today it's the same thing. You need to learn how to use Cowork. I don't know if we do. I think we've got to understand how it works, but also trust the process that AI will continue to accelerate and be better and get us to a pretty amazing place when we understand how to work with it.
No, 100%. And as users then, kind of we're, what I call the delegation boundary. We're deciding where the boundary is that I'm willing to delegate decisions and actions to an engine, an AI. And that comes to the point where, from the business perspective, it's fundamentally important that you feed into the AI what you do, who you are, who you serve, and why you're credible. And that's the codified part at the bottom there. And the idea of codified in the Kalicube framework is simply saying, take your business processes, take your business actions, what's happening inside your business, why clients are happy, how you're serving them, the fact that you've got Happy to Help written on the back of your hat, push it back to the engines through the bots, through the crawling process, or directly through MCP or something or with technology like that. How are you now going to focus on that, i.e. feeding the algorithms with the information they need to understand that you are indeed the best solution to the solution that it's a problem that their user has?
Yeah, I mean, some of it comes back to the work you and I have done together and with our teams, where you're helping us identify where are we already strong. Well, we've been around for 37 years. We founded the junk removal industry. I dropped out of school, high school, I dropped out of college. I built this industry with $700. There's the personal founder story. There's the customer experience and all the millions of reviews and everything. And so it's how do we harness all this information that's out there and tell the bots where to find it? How do we create a proper schema to say, here is everything. This is proof that we are these things and we're not, making this stuff up. So I think we're very lucky with 1-800-GOT-JUNK that we have 37 years of history and experience. With Wow One Day Painting, with Shack Shine. We're not as lucky. Those brands are about a decade old. They just don't have the same traction. So it's interesting. Your question of how will we use this? How will we leverage this? Continue to be human, continue to deliver an exceptional offline experience, which will bring with time an amazing online experience, and then just be the best at everything we do, at everything we say, continue to learn, continue to make some mistakes and learn from those, and just be real. I think in this AI world right now, this start of something big that we all don't know exactly where it's going, people want shortcuts that often don't make sense. And I don't think you can shortcut being human.
That's a really great quote. I like that. And the thing is, since the very beginning of everything I've ever done in this online world is shortcuts. That's all I ever hear is, what's the shortcut? What's the easy way of doing it? And my response is, if it was really easy and there was this super duper shortcut, everybody would be doing it, and you would have no advantage.
Very true.
And I prefer your answer, which is you can't shortcut human.
Yeah. It's the first time I've said it, but it's sort of like, it sort of summarizes in my brain right now with where technology is going. People want Claude to do it. They want an easy answer. They don't want to think. You can't shortcut being human. You've got to be able to sit down with people and have the tough human conversations. You've got to be honest. You've got to live your values. There's things that matter in this world that AI can never replace. Make sure you do that.
Which is absolutely the perfect way to end the session. Thank you so much, Brian. That was brilliant.
Thank you. Lots of fun. I learned a ton when I have these conversations. So thanks for including me.
Brilliant. Wonderful. Thank you. See you in the next session, everybody.